So I'm Simon Coote, I'm a director of Alicat workboats based in Great Yarmouth. I was time served as a marine engineer in a local company, and I've now been working for Alicat and previous companies on this site for 27 years. We specialise in commercial workboat service and repair and building. So, the outboard use is something relatively new. It's the last 2.5 years we've been building the smaller boats with outboard engines. That has generated quite a bit of work for us. We're now on to boat number 10 in build, all with outboard engines, which is likely to open other markets for smaller boats that we were not building before. Before we built big CTVs and big commercial workboats, sort of 15 to 30 metres in length, but the smaller boat market has really now opened up for us. The feedback is very good. They handle very well, they perform very well. The pickup is good. It's subject to what the boat is designed to do. There's catamaran and monohull which do work very differently, but fundamentally both versions of the design work and they sync well with the engines. So the support from OXE has been very good. We've had 2 of our engineers attend 2 of the training courses, both in Sweden, which is very beneficial for us from an installation perspective and assisting clients through life of the boat. The bigger vessels will still traditionally have propellers or water jets or IPS units, but the small boat market seems to be growing with outboard engines. The installations on an outboard boat and an inboard boat are very different. The outboard boat is much simpler from a builder's perspective. There's no inboard systems, there's no overboards, no exhaust. The installation is really easy. The inboard one is a lot more complex with water intakes, water overboards, exhaust systems, gas systems. So the outboard is definitely an easier method from a builder's perspective. So hours-wise, an outboard installation will take 50 hours. An inboard installation with the associated systems will be in the region of 400 hours. So these boats are a relatively new development. So in the daughtercraft market, there's different ranges, a monohull and a cat. They're all functioning the same way. They do slightly different things, but it's a good market for us to get into, and the outboards fit perfectly with these type of boats. There's lots of benefits, pros and cons for each one. So, the outboards are lighter. These boats are lifted onto a mothership, so weight is very critical for davits. If you go for an inboard system, you have a lot more in-trained weight in the boat, so you have to be careful with the design of the boat and what the davit will lift. Performance-wise, I think there's a balance and there's a perspective whether the inboard versions will give you slightly more, but on the bigger versions of the 300s, the performance is certainly very good in the field. With designing the boats from an inboard-outboard perspective, the outboard is a much simpler installation for the designers because they're all external to the vessel. They have to counterbalance with the weight being so far aft from a centre of gravity and a lift, but we can balance that out with a bit of ballast and clever placement of machinery. With an inboard, it's physical space to put all the stuff into the hulls. The boats are very small, so once you get all the inboards in, space becomes a very big issue along with weight. So from a price comparison, which is a commercial view, which is again very important, the outboards are by far the most cost-effective solution. I would imagine an outboard installation will be, on these boats, probably 25% cheaper. Well, I see the outboard in this market carrying on simply because of cost and size of boat. It's a perfect installation for the small craft. The underlying factor at the end of the day comes down to the commercials and working viability.